All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakwakadash, the belongs to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone Well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the full electors out there pushing, laboring, believing, and listening on to this truth with our sincerity. I already made a blessed election be upon your houses. All right, the title and topic of this lesson is going to be, hookup culture in America. All right, I just did a quick Google search, just typing that in exactly hookup culture in America, because in Babylon, America, it is a popularized common thing for there to be a hookup culture, right? Promoting, just harlotry. All right, promoting harlotry, promoting adultery, promoting, men sleeping with, you know, other men's wives, you know, and so forth, man. Right, this is a common thing that is promoted in Babylon, America. It's promoted in the reality TV shows. It's promoted in the music. It's promoted in the movies. It's promoted on social media. Right, everywhere you look and go, it is constantly being pumped, promoted, pumped into the minds of Jake, man. All right, and it is, ultimately, a destructive thing out here, man. All right, but real quick from the AI overview, it says hookup culture in America is a widespread social phenomenon, especially prominent on college campuses, normalizing casual, uncommitted sexual encounters, hookups, often without emotional intimacy. Right, and also continues on. It reads, driven by factors like delayed marriage and apps. It creates complex rules, pressures of meaninglessness, and leads to mixed outcomes, including regret for many. All right, and also it says though also sexual pleasure, creating a gap between desired intimacy and the reality of emotionally detached sex, right? So this is what's being promoted in Babylon, right? That hookup culture, that casual sex culture, that social norm, right? Where you know motherfuckers just popping left and right, man. Right? It's constantly promoting harlotry in this place, man. All right, and you got things like this. I got a couple of them here, right? You got shows like this that is constantly being pushed down and promoted, right? You got a show like Love Island, right? Temptation Island. Honestly, I think Temptation Island is the most through show that is out there, man, because with this show it pretty much brings couples to an island, right? It separates the couples, right? Puts the men on one side, the women on another side, right? And now they're dating each other, quote unquote, to say. And there's all types of adultery and wickedness going on in here, man. Popping left and right, man. This is what's being pushed and promoted, right? This show got 9 seasons, right? It goes to show you that people are, they entertained by it. They like to see it because it shit keeps getting renewed. All right, you know, shows like Perfect Match, go on a little bit, right? Too Hot to Handle, another one, man. Whatever this is, F Boy Island, all the newest Love Island. All right, so they're constantly, and you got a list of reality dating shows, right? Couple to throuple. Like, look at this, man. Dating naked. They're constantly promoting, you know, um, they're constantly promoting, that hookup culture, right? Everything is so hyper sexualized in this place, man, right? To the point where it is looked upon as if it's a good thing that you're a harlot. And if you call someone out on being a harlot, right? If you call someone out on being, quote unquote promiscuous or moving in the I guess you could say unladylike or unladylike for a woman, or wait for a man, out here popping women that have men, right? In these type of senses, if you speak up against that, you're demonized. Like, yo, what's wrong with this guy? Why aren't you going with the flow? Why aren't you in that YOLO mentality? They hate us because we go against the grain. Okay, people lack a sense of commitment in this place, man. Right? People will be in a long term and I'm gonna get into that. Also, people will be in a long term relationship and be ready to go pop another man, you know and commit adultery ultimately, man. All right. But this is what's getting pushed and promoted in this place, man. Right? They'll tell you things like, "Hey, if this nigga don't cut it, go get you another one." You know, if your girl not cutting it, go get another guy's girl, man. You know, this is what's being pushed and promoted in this place, man. High levels of debauchery, man. High levels of lack of, morality, man. Right? People lack morals in this place, man. People lack self-respect in this place, man. Right? Okay. And also what stems from, this hookup culture, what stems from, you know, letting, any man pop, or, popping, other men's women, right? Ultimately is, you dealing with, spiritual things at that point, because now you got, you know for a woman, you get letting all these men pop you. Now you got all these, the spirits of these different men in you, right? Especially if you letting them, excuse my language, but especially if you letting them ejaculate inside you. Now you got, all this, all the spirit of that guy, and you got the, their DNA and so forth inside you, man. Right? That's why a lot of times when women would have a baby, right, after letting a plethora of men ejaculate inside of her, right, you see that, they say that DNA, right, stays inside the body for, I believe it's like 10 years roughly, something to that extent, man. Right? I remember they did a research on that. And a lot of times the children, you can have, a child by another man, but now that child coming out with either, physical features of a past man, or either characteristics or traits of a past man. Right? And as for a man, you popping another man's wife, right? Now the spirits that's on her, they hopping on your ass now, man. Right? You know, but that just goes to show you, man, it's completely out of course in this place, and I want to get this too, right? Right, because what comes from that hookup culture is the incapability, or unable, right, to parabond, right, or to pair bond, right? Quick Google search, right? Just typed in unable to pair bond in relationships. Had a little typo there, right? But it says difficulty forming pair bonds often stem from past traumas, emotional detachment, or certain personality trait experiences, leading to surface level connections, while some theories suggest multiple sex partners might influence bonding hormones like oxytocin, right? So let me say it again, like oxytocin, or create emotional numbness. Though this is debated, addressing this involves exploring root causes, therapy, practicing mindfulness, improving communication, and fostering deeper shared experiences to rebuild trust and connection. That makes, sense, because you got all these spirits inside you, man. You can't even, have proper emotional connections, and the emotional connection that you think that you got in your mind, you're being, you're ultimately, clouded or judged, or have clouded judgment, more so because you're I guess you could say lusting after a person. You're not even really much liking that person, or seeing the red flags in front of you, man. Right? So you have the unable and incapable of truly being able to bond with someone, right? And when we scroll down a little bit here, right? Right here it says sociosexuality, right? It says a preference for casual sex over committed relationships can make long-term bonding challenging, man. Right? So if you out here just, popping left and right, when it comes down to that point of trying to have a long-term, relationship, you're unable to, man. Right? And that all also stems back to what? The hookup culture in America, man. Where they promote it's okay. Where it promotes, shit, do as you please, right? Coming at Aleister Crowley spirit. Do as thou please, right? Just pop left and right. Be a harlot, you know. Pop other men's wife, right? Commit adultery. Do all types of wickedness in this place, man. And stuff like this goes to show you why, the Lord's going to destroy this place, man. right? The mental in these people are messed up out here, man. Right? They're messed up out here. You got women so far gone in this place. They'll meet an individual and just let them ejaculate inside them, and their minds is gone. All right. And you got men that's making a game right out of popping other men's wife. You got men out here that prefer to get with women that have men out here, man. Right? And what do we have to blame for the promotion of that is these reality TV shows such as these right here, right? The Love Islands and so forth, right? The music, the social media, the TikToks and so forth, right? These celebrities or influencers, right? The friends, the friend groups and so forth, man, right? This is what's constantly getting promoted out here. And it's crazy to think about this because it's like a lot of people out here, right? Predominantly women, they'll be like, oh, they practice mindfulness, they practice, meditation, they're so down to earth, they're so holistic, this, down the third. But in reality, their spirits are destroyed, man. All right. Spirits inside these people are destroyed. There's no light. It's only darkness inside them, man. Damaged goods, man. All right. And by this hookup culture that's being promoted in Babylon, it just makes it worse and worse and worse, man. All right. It's terrible, man. This shit even going down to middle school, man, grade school. Motherfuckers, out here already in that hookup culture just destroying themselves, man. All right, and this is why we need salvation. This is why we need the Lord, man. This is all ultimately strategically designed to do what? To destroy Jake, man. Right? Like I said, also it says what? The decrease in marriage rates, lack of long-term relationships, man. Right? It's rare. All right. That's why you see things like divorce rates are so high, right? Because these people are unable to truly, pair bond with their spouses, man, because their spirits are so destroyed, man. Right? That's why you gotta choose very wisely the type of as a man, you gotta choose very wisely the type of, woman that you're dealing with, man. All right. And for a woman, shit, wait for your husband, man. And that man that you let, ultimately, take your virginity in other terms, that's your husband, man. Stay with that man, you know. But nevertheless, let me grab this real quick. This is Psalms 83 and 3. It reads, they have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Right. Ultimately, this really just stems back to, a master, a wicked plan of Esau Edom, man. Right. It's all by design, right? They've strategically designed and implemented and promoted and put certain things in the forefront, in the face, and in the minds of Jake to ultimately destroy them, to have them to believe that hookup culture is okay, that being a harlot is okay. When you look at a lot of these music artists, right? These female artists, man, what do they do? What do they promote? Being a harlot, man, being a whore, being a hoe, ultimately, man. You know, talking about fuck this nigga, fuck that nigga, no talent but shaking ass, right? Right? You got these male rappers talking about, yeah, I just, like nigga Future said, right? He's talking about, oh, I just popped another man's Eve and some Gucci flip flops, like things of that sort, man. All right, it's completely destructive, man, on both the man side and the female side, man. All right, completely just going off, man. They promote going off in this place, right? They promote wickedness in this place, right? That's what they do. Right? It's Isaiah 5 and 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. And that's what they do in this place, man. They say the wickedness and the evil, right, is good. It's a good thing. Keep doing it. And all the things that is good and righteous, they say that's evil. They say don't do that. Why only have one man when you can have multiple? Right? Right? Why they'll say, why have these other women when you could have another man's woman, right? That these are the things that is promoted in this place. It is it's truly out of course, out of order. It's upside down, right? Everything in this place constantly goes against the scriptures, goes against what Yahweh Shemal Shah ordained. And people don't even bat an eye at this, right? Everywhere you look and see, it is highly demonic. The demonic things in this place are constantly increasing, and they're not even hiding it as much as they used to hide it anymore, man. They're blatantly putting it in your face, and people don't even question it or bat an eye on it because they're so what's the word I'm looking for? They're so pacified, right? They're so used to it. In other terms, there's a word I'm looking for, but it's slipping my mind right now, right? But they're so, ultimately pacified or so dull to it, that they don't even bat an eye at it, right? This is Amos, the 7th chapter, verse 17. It reads, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy son and daughter shall fall by the sword." And that's ultimately what we're seeing, right? We're seeing, an increase in, the Israelite woman being a harlot, man. Right? That's I always hear the brother Baar, from the camp say this, right? It say, you could tell, a lot by a nation by looking at the state of their women, man. Right? When you look at these other nations, right, you look at their women, they're in order, right? They carry themselves with respect, with some type of morals, right? They act, very ladylike, you know, you know. But now when you look at the Israelite woman, first thing people think is, oh man, ratchet, hood rat, whores, harlot, oh loud, oh adulterous, all these different type of things. They have these you know ideas or point of views off of the Israelite woman, because now they're out here completely destroyed. Right? They destroyed the Israelite woman. They destroyed the Israelite man in this place. They destroyed the whole Israelite family structure in this place, man. To the point that building an Israelite family in this place is a very tough challenge, man. All right, because of all the things that are set against you. All right. And this is Jeremiah 31:22, and it reads, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? The Lord had created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man." That's pretty much what it is, man. Right? They put Eve on a pedestal. Right? They put the woman above a man in this place, man, which is incorrect according to the order and the structure of things that is set up by Yahweh Shemal Shani scriptures, man. Right? They give the woman more leeway in this place, put her in a better position, right? Tell her it's okay to be a harlot, right? Promote being, promiscuous and so forth. Promote being in that hookup culture, right? They had this whole thing with Amber Rose a few years back, the slut walk. Like, bro, what the fuck is that? Motherfuckers out here marching to be harlots, man. Like, and when you look at the predominantly the majority of people that were in that was Israelite women, right? Which consists of what? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, right? And so forth, man. But that just goes to show you, man, these devils is truly targeting Jake, ultimately, when it comes down to this, man. It is a strategic design to destroy the children of Yasharallah. And we're seeing it trickle down into the youth, right? You got motherfuckers at young age, children out here being harlots, man, right? This is the effect that comes from the hookup cultures, right? That comes from, the media, these reality TV shows and so forth, man. And this is why we need salvation. And this is also why the Lord is getting ready to really destroy this place, man, because the wickedness of this place have reached unto the heavens, man. The Lord is fed up, man, right? But hey, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Lord willing, the source edifying to the elect of Israel. With that being said, I'll give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, and Kwakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone well. Peace, blessings, salutations to those electors out there pushing, laboring, believing, and listening on to this truth with our sincerity. Until next time, shalom. And a ball, Kwame Sharala, shalom.